Okay, by the way, at the top of the card you notice it says Unix. Now, if you run Linux, it's important to know that Linux has a Unix shell. So, like Apple's, Macintosh, that's all Unix based. Linux, Unix based. You know, if you're running Linux or you're running an Apple or a Macintosh, your terminal is Unix. And if you're running Windows, your terminal is the command prompt, or as they used to call it in the olden days, DOS, disk operating system. So this carries on from the last card, and it's a list of file operators in the Unix terminal, or bash commands. And if you notice the examples here on the right, like we saw on the last card, if -d dir1, then what that actually means is it's saying if this, well, the way they describe it is if file is directory, but what it actually is saying is we're just trying to find out if it's a directory or not with the -d tag, because we want to know if it's a file or a directory. And that's the thing about programming. You are essentially being the intelligence for the computer. It doesn't know what to do until you tell it what to do, so you have to be very specific with things. So the next tag is the -f tag, which is it's basically like the -d. You're trying to find out if it's a file or directory, but this time you're specifically trying to see if whatever it is a file. Then we got the -r, which just checks to see if read permission is set. -s, if -s if the name of the file is 0 in length. -w to see if the write permission is set for it. -x if its executable permission has been granted. And of course there's also -e, which I don't think is on this card, but -e just to see if it exists. But I believe you can use -f for that too. In fact, I've done that in another script. So -o is to see if the user owns the file. So let's move on to the next slide. A little bit more bash here for you, coming at you. And this first line here, !/bin/bash, that's called the shebang line. Now when you're in Python, it'll be !/usr/bin /Python. So the shebang line, you're just telling the computer which programming language you're using for the code is. So it basically knows what to look forward to, what it is, you know. It knows what to load to interpret it. So on the left here we have a function in bash, and on the right we have a function in Python. And like I explained earlier, a function is just a specific segment of code, right? If you want to do a certain set of tasks under a certain circumstance, you create a function and you call it when that circumstance is met. So on the left here you can see that we name the function whatever we want, and we to open close bracket, I guess you'd call it, and then this other funky looking bracket, and then indent. Notice the indentation. So you name the function, then you use the bracket to start it. Anytime you want to leave a comment to yourself, you just use the #, and the interpreter will ignore that. And notice that in between the beginning of the function and the end of the function, we indent everything inside there. Now, if you put an if command in there or a while loop or anything like that, after that command you got to indent again. You'll get the hang of it eventually. It's confusing at first, but eventually it makes so much sense. So let's look at the Python functions on the right. Pretty much the same thing. The only difference is we put a colon after those brackets, and then of course we indent. And then when you're ready to end that function, you just, you would declare another function and you move back over, you know what I'm saying, you go back. So here you indent, but when you start over, you go back. See my point?